What's up, everyone? We got another episode of Draconian Combat. Got my friend Mike. We got a guest, Jann Vazquez, boxer, here to break down, his career, the game, his experiences, things of that nature. And so, yeah, it was just another episode, right? And Jann, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you taking the time. We know you're pretty much training, right?
Yes, sir.
Training and working. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Mike, thanks for, reaching out and making that connection. And Michael, I'll let you go first and shoot off the question, so to speak, and we can
Okay.
go from there.
All right. So first, if you can let us know a little bit about your background, where you're training out of, and then also just a little bit how you got started with boxing.
Well, so in high school, about my freshman year, I got I was looking at Ryan Garcia, him hitting the like I don't know if y'all seen where
In
he
the
would get
garage?
like the body vest and do the body
Yeah,
vest
yeah, yeah,
challenge.
yeah.
I was looking at that and I was like, man, I want to be like him. He's a pretty boy. I liked everything he did. So I got in my mom's car, got some tape. I grabbed the car mat, got some rope, and I taped the car mat together and made my own bag and just hung it up and started hitting it. And it was like ever since then I was like just in love with it. And
That's what's up.
yeah.
How long have you been doing it for?
So I've been hitting the bag and like training on my own since I was 15, 14. And
Okay.
then I I started about 3 years ago, like actually getting trained and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I started in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I don't know if y'all know where that is. That's like south of Oklahoma,
Okay.
over there by Windstar Casino.
Okay.
That's where I
Yeah.
started. I started at Gladiators Gym, and
Is
they
that the one
they
with Damn, I just had my
Great.
brain went blank.
Mhm.
Cortez. Is that Cortez's gym?
No, Cortez's gym is in Ada, but Cortez did start training there too. They're all from
Okay.
that gym. Yeah, that gym. We had a legendary coach, Gary Raymond. He was really good. Like he taught me all the fundamentals. He took me in the first day. It was amazing. Like, cause to be trained by him, he trained the. I don't know if y'all know who Eric Fields is, the champion. He's from Ardmore, Oklahoma. He's a
Harrison
boxer.
probably does.
I'm not familiar with them, but if I like see him, maybe I might recognize him. But it sounds like your coach, has that pedigree, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. That was my old coach, but yeah,
Right.
he's he was having some issues with health and stuff, so he closed down the gym, and that's what I started going to Cortez and Ada, and Cortez taught me like a lot. He took me to like a different level.
Right.
Yeah, and he
What
took me in.
What do you think? What do you think's the difference? I guess as far as like the levels, right? When you first start boxing, you're trying to develop your weak hand, things of that nature. And then you obviously know the game. You get better. You're starting to understand slipping punches,
Yeah.
your timing. Do you feel like he's sort of? How do you feel like a boxing coach? I guess. How do you feel like he allowed you to develop? What did he instill in you? What sort of techniques? And how would you explain your style in a sense? That question's all over the place, but I tried to.
Yeah. Yeah, he took me in and he had like a swagger. He made me like it's like a dance, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I
Yeah.
know what you mean.
And that's how he fights. And I just looked at him and I was like, yeah, I wanna fight like that cuz he had like some swag when he fought.
Get a
Yeah, I
little
know what you
rhythm
mean.
to it.
Yeah, and he'd always be playing music and like just dancing around. No matter who the guy like who was in front of him, he'd always be just calm, never like backing up. He'd stay in the pocket, exchange, and I was like, yeah, that's that's who I want to like. That's how I want to fight. And he like taught me all that, and just like he took me in. But I still, and then I had to move up here to OKC. I had some stuff going on, family and some job stuff going on. So I had to
Yeah,
move up here, and now I'm training over here at Rival OKC. I don't know if y'all know what that is
I
with
don't.
Nikki
I'm not
Burleson.
familiar with the area.
It's it's the best. I'd say it's the best gym. Like they produce the best like national champions. We have like 5 national champions at
Yeah,
this
I've seen
gym.
you travel recently. You're traveling recently,
Sir,
competing and stuff. You want to go in about that a little bit?
it was a good experience. It was a really good experience. We went to Mexico, San Miguel.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. I went against the top dude in Canada. He was really
Okay.
good. It was a good fight. I didn't come out on top, but it was amazing that I got the opportunity just to share the ring with the number one dude from Canada in
Right.
the middleweight division. Like, and I'm not even like up there yet, but I still gave him like a really good fight. But I got some things I need to work on. It all comes with like experience. Y'all know that. So
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, no,
yeah,
I think that's a big deal though that you jumped in the ring with somebody like that, right? And obviously hold your own and not getting like punked completely and stuff like that, right? But
yeah.
it's like that he met his match, so to speak, and has some resistance in going up against you. It sounds like. What do you think the gap was? Maybe was it like a speed thing, a timing thing, strength? What do you think?
I feel like I gassed out. I
Mm,
gassed out second round, and I just stopped throwing punches, and I was really just eating his shit. I was like eating his punches and stuff, and I wasn't throwing back towards like the second middle of second round because I
hmm.
gassed out. He was working. His experience was hitting me he was getting me to the body, gas like
Yeah,
punching my, you know what I mean? Yeah, like he
Yeah.
was
Noticed
he
you were
was doing his
tired. You
thing.
started going to the body.
Yeah, he was doing his thing, and I caught him real good in the first round. I I almost dropped him. I twisted his whole body, his whole head like damn near snapped off. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a war. I'm not backing up.
yeah.
Like I showed him, and he was like, he came up after the fight, and he gave me my respect, and I was like, yeah, it was
How
good. It
would you?
was a good fight.
Hey, how would you say your style is? Are you a counter puncher? Are you more offensive? How would you describe it?
I feel like I could do it. I could do it all. I'm working on it more. Like I could counter punch. I could be on the inside. Like my last sparring session, I was doing it all. I was really like I could counter punch. I could turn into like an aggressor. I could really do it all, really.
You pretty
You
much
brought up
just
your
adapt to the
sparring, right?
fight.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Michael.
No, you good. I was just
No,
saying you
so
pretty
you
much just
brought up
adapt to
sparring.
it.
Man, Michael, shut up, dude. That's a good
Hey
question.
man.
No, that's
All
all
right,
good.
go.
I was gonna say, because you brought up sparring, and have you ever been in a situation during sparring where people are trying to like get the best of you? I talked to Michael about guys in sparring like who go too hard or trying
Oh
to,
yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
has it been like that? You have any good
That
stories about someone trying to get off on you and not really understanding? Hey, man, you got to relax.
Nah, yeah, I've had a lot over here at this gym, but I feel like that just makes me like cause I'm not quitting. Like I'm gonna stay in there no matter what. I'm not gonna take a knee, I'm not gonna drop. Like I'm gonna take the ass whooping. I feel like this is just experience. It's making me better. Cause I'm
Right.
not and I'm going against someone that's better than me, so I'm just gonna be up there with him. And I feel like if I just keep on going, like I sparred him against last week. I sparred dudes like that in the past he like whooped my ass.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting more up there. I'm not up there yet, but these dudes are like at my gym. These dudes are like national champions,
Hmm.
and they the real deal over there at Rival. So I feel like I'm starting to get up there with them every time I get in the ring.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think you can only get on that level fighting them, right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about, I think in Mayweather's gym, and you can maybe share if this is sort of the culture there, but this idea of like doghouse rules where it's like, we keep going until somebody's done, really.
yeah,
Could you explain, I guess, your gym sparring philosophy? And you don't have to share secrets per se,
yeah.
but how you guys go about sparring. Do you look at it from a let me sharpen my tools thing, or how do you go about sparring? What's your philosophy?
When I go into sparring, shit, really, who shows up? I'm gonna say, okay, this dude's a little taller. I'm gonna work on my inside game because I can't work on my outside game
Hmm.
when the dude's taller than me because he knows how to use his. All them dudes know what they're doing, so he knows how to use his reach. So I'm gonna
Gotcha.
work on my inside game that day. But sometimes we'll switch out. The other dude's shorter. I'm gonna work on my outside game. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just work on little stuff like that. My coach really likes my jab. I feel like that's probably my best punch, my jab. It's really like flicky, and I feel like it's annoying to other like whoever I'm fighting, especially if they're shorter than me. because I use it a lot, and she's like use that jab, you know, and I that's like my number one punch.
How did you feel that how do you put it? Did it come to be your number one punch because of how effective it was when you're fighting and sparring, or was that something you purposely wanted to be that number one punch, so to speak?
Now every time, oh shit, yeah, it's real effective. I ain't gonna lie, cause it's so like fast, and sometimes I really keep my hand down here,
Yeah.
and they don't really expect it. So they'll step in, and I'll set up my jab. I'll just boop, and then like I could fake it, and just like go around with the hook. You can set up a lot of stuff out of it, like especially my jab.
Oh, so you're not really operating from a high guard like this. You
Mm-mm.
you don't mind keeping your hand down.
Yeah, yeah. I get in the pocket. I get in the pocket like this.
Uh,
Exchange, push off, exchange, then
yeah.
go under. Yeah, I'll do
Got you.
stuff like that. But
I was
I'll get on a high guard sometimes.
got you. Would you say defensively, how would you it sounds like you kind of said you're not afraid to get in the pocket, sort of, do your thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess a good question is who do you think is the best boxer right now? And is there a boxer that you sort of model your style after? I know originally you mentioned like Garcia kind of when you were younger, but is there a pro right now who you're like, yeah, I want to put him in my game, so to speak?
Right now, man, I don't really know about right now, but I watch a lot of Andre Ward because
Yeah,
Okay.
he wasn't the best when it comes to like skill, but he was all like up here.
everything was up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he like I'm telling you, I met one of the dudes he fought in Tulsa, and that dude
Hmm.
was really good, and uh he took it to him. Andre Ward changed the whole game plan, made him uncomfortable, took away his jab. He could change his style. That's what I like about him. He can change his style from like whenever he fights different people. You know what I mean? To
No, Andre
win.
Ward, I think he's an all-time boxer, right?
Yeah,
Disrespected, I think, because he probably wasn't the flashiest, not like the best athlete per se,
yeah.
but as it concerns his head, he was just smarter than you. Knew how to adapt to situations, and I guess that leads me to my point. Has there been a fight that you've had where somebody initially just kind of had you fooled or tricked in a sense, but then you were able to sort of pick up on their timing and then sort of get the better of them as as you started learning how they're moving? Has that ever happened? It
I
could
don't
be
think so.
sparring too, where
Oh
you're
yeah,
picking
yeah.
up on like
Sparring probably
patterns.
for sure.
Yeah.
All the time. There's always everything in sparring, like just a bunch of different stuff that happens in sparring like that. But probably not a fight yet. I only have 6 fights, but I'm sure I'm gonna stack them up this year around
Gotcha.
June, July. Yeah, I'm gonna be back in there hopefully, but not in an actual fight yet. But probably in sparring for sure. But we spar a lot, so I'm not for sure on.
No, I hear you. Michael, did you want to shoot another question?
Yeah, I'm gonna change it up a little bit because I heard you like Garcia, so I'm gonna bring it up. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on Devin Haney suing Ryan Garcia?
Uh, Man, I feel like if he tested like positive, you can't lie. If you test positive, you test positive. So it's like that's cheating. And I
Okay.
mean, Devin's kind of like I don't know. I mean, he's suing shit. That's kind of like a petty move, but he probably broke. I don't know. He needs some money or something.
No, it's I'm glad Michael asked because
Me and
we
Harris to
we
go back
argue
and
all the
forth.
time about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. I think Michael likes Ryan more. I don't mess with Ryan, but um, Michael was like, "Man, that's a weak move to sue," and I was like, "Just sue, just get your money." That dude cheated. So,
Yeah,
but Michael, I guess wanted to ask because I think Ryan needs to be out the sport. Uh,
yeah. He did cheat. That's kind of fucked up because this is a really like you could kill someone in the ring.
Yeah,
It's
you're
not
right.
nothing you play, you know. It's just serious, and but I love Devin Haney. I bet money on Devin Haney that night because
oh man,
I watched all of
Damn.
his I watched all of his training all of his training videos, and I was like, man, this dude's gonna win. Then I seen me and my brother was looking that night, but I was pissed off.
oh man, I had Devin Haney winning that fight easily. I was like, "There's no way. I don't think he's on the level of Haney, Ryan Garcia."
Yeah,
And then he got clipped, and I was like, "Oh, this is about to get bad, bro."
I could see it. I could see it when they got in the ring. I could just see the size difference. I was like, oh wow, that's a big size difference. I didn't really. And then when he was throwing his jab, he was doing this, and that's how you get caught with the left easily. And that's Ryan's punch right there. It's just the left. That's all he got.
That left hook is it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw, because it sounds like you keep up to date with boxing. Some fighters we talked to might not follow the sport as closely.
yeah,
Did you happen to see the Tank Davis fight?
yeah. Which one?
The most recent one.
Oh yeah, Lamont Roach. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I seen
What
the
are
whole
your
thing.
thoughts on that fight? Me personally, well, I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts on the fight and who won?
Uh, I feel like the knee should have been counted as a knockdown.
I
They
agree.
You can't just take it like that's. There's no timeouts in this shit. This is not no football, basketball, whatever that has timeouts. This is a fuck. This is a combat sport, bro. Like you got to be a man and just deal with it. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
we. That's why we fight. We not doing no timeouts. And I feel like that should have been called a knockdown. I mean, they should have. They should have put it on the scorecards. He should have lost. That should. It's
That's
just not fair. Just because he's the A side,
right.
they
That's
want to
true.
give him the win. That's why
Yeah.
I'm like,
No, I was looking at it the same way. I thought Roach dominated Tank. The knockdown in the A side, B side, right?
yeah.
Those whole politics. And what is your experience, sort of dealing with those type of shenanigans, right? Whether it's being the A side or B side, and how do you just feel about that in general, as far as not just this fight we just talked about, but just boxing politics in general? I don't think there's much as we can do about it. It just is what it is. But I don't feel like MMA is as much A side, B side as boxing is, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I feel like it's corrupt, and they're trying to fix it right now with the new. I think
TKO
they
thing, the TKO boxing, I think.
yeah they trying to fix it. It's all corrupt because they want to make money. It's all about money, especially in boxing. Ever since Floyd, they just want to like it's like a I think it's like a stereotype they call it. They
Yeah,
just want to win, like losses. Everyone has losses in the UFC, but in boxing you lose. It's
you're
it's it's a
done.
bad thing. You know what I mean? You
Right.
get it's like your stock goes down or whatever you want to eat. And it's like I don't really agree with it because we want to see the fights. You know what I mean? We
Right.
don't want to see like Tank. He don't be fighting nobody. He don't
He
want to
doesn't.
fight nobody. You know what I mean?
And I've been trying to explain that to people that Tank's been ducking, but he has this stereotype that he's like a boogeyman. I'm like, he's not this monster people are scared of. I try and tell this to Michael. I tell this to everybody I talk to. I'll go whoop Tank. Well, I probably won't, but I'll try. You know what I mean? But that A and B games, I think boxing is dirty. It's corrupt. You have to deal with like the sanctioning bodies. Then it's like I don't know how you can fix it. And I guess
Yeah.
maybe they're trying to fix the pay, right? I guess with TKO boxing, Dana White, they're doing something like that.
Mhm.
I do know money is better in boxing than MMA, though, if that
That's what
makes
I
sense.
heard. Yeah.
So the fight purses are just bigger in general. And so, how do you fix the sport? I don't know. I really don't know. Michael, you got any ideas? What can
I
we do?
fix it,
Yeah,
make people fight each other. I think that's what Dana White's trying to do.
Yeah.
I think he said like he wants to like because in boxing like you figure like some of these big fights we got to wait 2 or 3 years.
right.
Maybe it might
Maybe,
happen. We're still waiting
maybe
for Canelo and what's his name and
Crawford.
Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah. So I think Dana White's point was the way he's gonna run it is gonna be the same way he does the UFC. So the top fighters will fight the top people. There won't be any top people fighting people who you know they're gonna win, building their record to create a big money fight 3 years down the line against two top opponents. I think he's gonna make them fight right off the bat.
Yeah.
Whoever's
I agree
winning.
with that. That should be the best. That'll
I
that'll show who's the best actual boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
That's
I think that culture of just writing off boxers once they lose is causing the issue, right? People think you have to be perfect. You don't. In MMA, it's like, you can lose 10 fights and people are still going to be on your bandwagon.
yeah.
And I think that's what leads into so much ducking for boxing, because if you lose one fight, people start trashing you. I started trashing Tank Davis as soon as he lost. It's some of the best. I have the best time trashing that guy now. But I'm still wrong for doing it. I shouldn't do that, but it is what it is. I'm just joining in on the culture right now. So
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. I think there has to be something that fans do, that boxers do, to get away from this idea of having to be perfect. Um, but I don't know what we're going to do as a boxing culture, right? And I guess maybe I'm part of the problem. I shouldn't be trashing Tank Davis, but I'm going to. It is what it is. So, hey, I don't know how to fix it, but I think Dana White's trying. And I do have a question for you. What are your thoughts on Turkey? The
He doing
Saudi
his thing.
Arabian guy.
He's setting it up, and he paying money too.
He's
So
paying, right?
he paying money and he's setting it up. Like he doing his thing. I fuck with him. He's cool. He
Do you
lit.
think he's good for boxing?
Yeah, he doing his thing for sure. I like what he's doing. I think he's
No, I
perfect
got
for
you.
boxing.
What do you think, Michael?
That's the Saudis.
Yeah,
I mean, shit, they're the ones that making all these big fights happen.
right.
Look at that big card they have coming up. I think with Teofimo, Haney, Ryan Garcia,
Yeah,
like
I seen
that
that.
whole thing stacked up. So like, and I think they've done. I think they did a thing with the UFC for the Sphere where like they just have a shit ton of money and they want to see fights and they make it happen. So I think it's a good thing.
I think some people are complaining that boxers get paid too much. Believe it or not, they're saying Turkey's overpaying them.
You know how
And I
much
know as a
baseball players
boxer,
get paid?
huh?
You know how much a baseball player gets paid?
It's ridiculous.
A
Yeah,
lot more than a boxer.
Well, I still think boxers are pretty underpaid. Um,
Yeah, I do too. Compared to other sports, boxing
yeah,
or football, baseball, basketball, and
some
yeah. What do
it's
you
a
think about
combat
that,
sport where
Jan?
they're
As
getting
far
head
as
trauma and stuff.
what do you think
mhm.
about that as far as boxer pay?
They probably do get. I know some dudes like. I feel like it's just the top dudes with the actual like social media following that actually get like the pay that they
Mm,
probably don't deserve because they're not that good. You know,
mm,
there's some dudes out here that are really good, but they don't really put themselves out there like that, and they don't get
I
the pay
see.
because it's all about social media nowadays and like this
Yeah,
generation. You know, you got to get the following. Like Ryan Garcia, he's not that good. He's good, but he's not like Terrence Crawford level. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Right.
And he getting that pay. He probably getting more than Terrence Crawford. Like I'm not for sure on that, but he getting up there with him, and he not
So
nowhere near that level.
do you have an issue with these I guess these celebrity boxers then these celebrity events because it's almost like they're robbing the genuine people in boxing like KSI's the Jake Pauls. I know they're training seriously, right? But and I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to come across as a pocket watching hater, but you guys aren't real fighters and you're jumping into the sport. It doesn't sit right with me, but at the same time, what can I do about it? So, what are your thoughts on that whole celebrity boxing world of fake boxers collecting paychecks?
Man, I feel like so you talking about like KSI, like Logan Paul, them dudes?
Yeah, those type of guys. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Uh, I feel like if they training, they doing their thing. That's I feel like if you train, boxing's not no game, especially if you train and sparring, you doing
right,
everything that I'm doing.
right,
Like it's serious to me. So I feel like if you're gonna go to the gym every day, that shit takes a lot of like that shit takes a lot of energy every day to just go to the gym and actually step in the ring in front of people.
hmm,
That shit takes a lot. That's my opinion though. Like I mean, they might not be that good, but they doing it because they get that social media following.
right,
So they're influenced to do that type of stuff because they want more followers and they want
right.
a little paycheck. And they see people like Floyd, Terrence, they see that shit and they all right, they get like an offer, just step in the ring in front of like 10,000 people. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
It'll
why
gain
not?
some
Right?
followers. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys do take it seriously though.
yeah.
I think because they're influencers, I kind of look at them as a joke, but I think they're serious about the craft. And that kind of brings me to my next point because you're someone who's serious about your craft. You're in the gym, you're doing all of this. What are your thoughts about people who try and play boxing or who try and play fighting? They think that, oh, I can train for 2 weeks and step in there with somebody like you and think, oh, I'm just bigger than them, so I'm gonna whoop them. What are your
No,
thoughts about that sort
they
of mindset and people who think that fighting is something you can just play around with and dibble and dabble in.
well, I say let them get in there with me. I say let them get in there. I
Right.
show them. People like that actually train, and then people that want to like with the ego that want to come in and just, yeah, let them get in there. Show them. They'll learn their lesson, and if they don't, they're fucking like psycho. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah, we're
that's
dealing with I think we deal with that a lot because I guess I'm helping with matchmaking, right? I help a couple promoters with matchmaking on the MMA side. And so I feel like you have guys who are about just having a picture on their Instagram showing that they had a fight
yeah,
versus dudes who are like, no, I'm actually taking this fight career seriously. but the guys who are just doing it for clout, they get the same sort of glory as the guys who are really putting in the work. And then they're cherry picking. It's just a nasty game. But I think some people think you can play fighting, and then we have people who die, people who get injuries, people who are hospitalized, and it's like you can play basketball and football, but you can't play fighting. But I don't know why people think you can. That's my thing. Like,
Oh, this
what
shit.
makes you think this is something that you could take lightly? I don't know. What you think?
Delusion.
You said delusion?
Yeah. Delusion, and then just I think what you brought up is just social media. Being able to
Yes.
post online, being able to look cool online, stuff like that.
Right.
That, like you said, clout. That's the main thing. Especially with a lot of fighters nowadays, like the newer generation, I would say,
Right.
because the social media is so popular nowadays, and it's like what's he posting online? You know what I mean? It's like I don't know, man. I think social media really changed the game when it comes to separating the competitors, because you have people like and he's an MMA fighter, but you have someone like Aunt Goliath,
Yeah.
who's really good, but like he's not on the internet like that.
Yeah.
So it's like what Jann was saying. It's like you almost have to play both sides, but you can't play yourself at the same time. Like if you're doing this shit, make sure you're doing it. Don't be lying on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cold game. Did you have anything else to add on that, Jan?
Do what?
Did you have anything else you wanted to add on that part?
Man, I don't know. I know a lot of dudes. I've trained with a lot of MMA dudes. I forgot his name. He's some African dude. Like, he's really good up there. He's like a prospect over there in the
Yeah.
UFC. I've trained with him. I have some videos with him, training with him. I forgot his name, but he's really good. But he don't really post like on social media like that. But he's like, he has a bunch of knockouts. Cortez, he introduced me to him over there in Texas. We went to Texas to go train, and that dude was funny. Like, he was the funniest dude ever. But I searched him up after, because I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah.
I searched him up after, and this dude was like he knocked some dude out in like the first round, like crazy, like a monster. And I was like, wow. I was training with him, and like, it was crazy. He was the most humble dude, but he don't be on social media like that.
So you come across those guys who aren't like doing everything for clout, but are real killers essentially. They're out there.
Like a killer, bro. Like, this dude from straight out of Africa, like mean in the ring, or not in the ring, in the octagon.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the coolest. Like, he was cracking jokes while we was hitting pads. It was fun. He was funny. He was a cool dude. I think Razak is his name.
Oh wait, Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
That's him.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, Michael. I think if you seen him, you would recognize him.
From the
I know who he is. Yeah, I think he's a
from the UFC.
Yeah, he's in the UFC. Yeah,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Abdul Razak Al Hassan.
I gotta see his face, but I'm almost sure. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I know who he's talking about. Pretty solid dude. I think he was cool with Kamaru Usman.
Yeah.
They have like a relationship with him or something like that. But yeah, it seems like there are different personalities in the game, right? And we don't want to take up all your time, but we did want to ask you, what should fans look out for next in your career, your next fight? If you have an announcement you want to make, if there's somebody you want to call out who's rubbing you the wrong way, what did you want to get off your chest?
Well, in the amateurs, we just fight whoever like matched up, whatever, like whoever signs up, we're matched up with them. So that's how it is in the boxing amateurs. But I feel like every fight, I'm looking for more experience. So I'm trying to stack up fights. Whatever my coach says, like there's a fight, I'm like, let's do it. That's how it always is, and that's how I'm gonna say yes every time. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't call no one out like that. Not yet. Not yet. But y'all gonna see when I do.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I just and also if you could tell everyone where to follow you, so to speak.
Where to what? Sorry.
Where to follow you, like on socials.
Okay, so my Instagram is I am Jann Vazquez, JANNVAZQUEZ. And then my Facebook is my name, Jann Vazquez. And then that's really all I got on the social media. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Michael, did you want to say anything else?
Yeah, just one quick one.
Oh, yeah.
The Mount Rushmore. So if you could pick 4 fighters to put on Mount Rushmore, they're gonna be boxers, I assume. Who you putting up there? It could be of all time, current, or whatever. You can mix it.
Okay. Andre Ward, for sure. Let me think. I had a list because I had a list of fighters on my notes because I always make like James Tony
James
for
Tony,
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me think. Terrence Crawford.
Okay.
Mm.
I love the way he fights. There's one more. I'm probably gonna mess it up. You know what? He's young. He's a prospect right now, but it's Xander Zayas. He's a Puerto Rican.
Xander, I know who Xander is. Yeah, I think Puerto Rican, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Fights on Top Rank.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I peeped Xander too. I think he has a bright future. I think he just fought actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
he did.
he just fought recently. I think he got clipped, and so once you get clipped, people just act like you're a scrub, man.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to get clipped or much less dropped.
Yeah.
But you know how boxing is and the game is. But um, yeah, that was a solid list. We've
Yeah.
had some people come on here and say some outrageous stuff, but it's their own personal list.
I probably have
So
a better list to be honest, because but I got it in my notes somewhere because I'll put like I'll be watching on TikTok, YouTube. I'll see these dudes training like highlights and stuff, and I'll go write them down so I can really get into it and like pick stuff apart that I want to add to my game. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's something interesting that you mentioned. And maybe before we end the show, you can kind of build on that, right? And so it sounds like you'll like look at their training footage, so to speak.
Yeah.
Are you looking for sort of habits or even like exercises literally that they're doing? Sort of what's your approach when you're like looking at stuff that you can add to your game without trying to while still maintaining your own game? You know what I mean?
I look at like I looked at Devin Haney a lot
Uh-huh.
before the Ryan Garcia fight, and I was taking a lot of stuff out of him, like his jab, the way he jabs,
Hmm.
fast flick jab,
Hmm.
the way he keeps his like on the outside, but he's a little dude, but he's on the outside. The way he's just
Right.
calm. We try to stay calm with Ryan Garcia, but yeah, with the way he fights, I love the way he fights.
Hmm.
And Andre Ward, I see Andre Ward on the bag, nothing special at all. I watched
Yeah.
him on the bag because I watch these dudes for like the hour videos of them on the bag. I watch
Hmm.
the whole video. I be bored at work. I work security at night shift.
Yeah, got you.
So I watch
Okay.
the whole video, just studying the video. And it's nothing special, just working on the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2s.
Hmm.
No, just straight fundamentals. And that's what I'm like, okay, if he's just working on the fundamentals, why do I gotta do some fancy shit? You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
I just work on my simple footwork. Floyd Mayweather, he got some crazy good
Yeah,
footwork.
Floyd has some legendary stuff.
Yeah, I try not to use too much because he has some bad habits for people like me and the amateurs that I don't really know what he's doing it for because
Uh-huh.
he'll use it for like specific reasons because he's really like top of the top. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I don't know what he's using it for. So like I don't want to take anything from like up here the Philly shell shit.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna do too much of that because that's dangerous. Because I don't really know. I haven't been taught the Philly shell like he's been taught. You know what I mean?
I see.
But
Oh,
yeah,
so what you're saying is like you'll see something like that, but no, it's not really applicable at the amateur level.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not just taking it for the sake of Floyd does it, so I can do it. It's like
yeah.
you don't know Floyd's schooling for the Philly shell.
That's right.
Who I
Yeah,
think
I'm telling you.
I think Ryan Garcia tried the Philly shell before the Devin Haney
Yeah, I
fight.
remember that.
Nah, he just uses
It
all
was it
back.
was the worst looking. It was just I was like, dude, don't do that, bro. It was horrible.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
I remember that, but he tried it, right? And I
yeah.
think that's an example of somebody who just learns something and then tries to apply it, and it's like, no,
That's
that's
how
that's
it
not
is
how it
all the
works.
time. All that's when I first started. I was using the Philly shell, and I looked like a fucking like a dumbass. And I was like, all right. My coach, when he was like, "What are you doing? Put your hands up, elbows in." And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes I'll use it in the inside, but I don't want to use it too much. I use it when I like want to throw an uppercut and then
Yeah,
get out of there in the inside. Whenever it's like uncomfortable or like I don't make them uncomfortable, just different stuff I want to use because I'm more experienced than the other guy. But when I'm going against someone up there, I'm gonna make sure my hands are up because I don't want to get caught. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
that's a good
understood.
habit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think very few people do the Philly show like properly. I
yeah,
think Boots Ennis, I think he has it down.
yeah. He's
Michael, I know
good.
I sent you his film. Have you heard of Boots Ennis, Young?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Boots Ennis. He's probably one of my favorite fighters. I'm not sure if you heard of Abdullah Mason.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
he's one of
Wait.
he's a top ranked dude, up and comer.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
but I think if you've seen him, you'll probably recognize him.
yeah.
But definitely, Boots Ennis is a nasty fighter. The way he fights, I want to see him versus Crawford, but I think Crawford's scared personally.
You think?
But well, it is what it is. But I do want to get your prediction for one fight before we let you go, because I think the fight's going to happen.
Yeah.
Canelo versus Crawford. Who do you have?
So if Crawford stays on the outside and outboxes him the whole time, but I don't think because Canelo's on a different level, in my opinion. But Crawford's still good. Like I don't know. That could be anything. But I feel like the only thing would be the weight difference, the power.
Right.
Because power, you can't like when you get hit with some shit, he gonna feel it. Unless
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my concern. I think Crawford's underestimating that weight difference. And I
Yeah.
like Crawford, but it's like just because Canelo is shorter than you doesn't mean he's not a bigger man than you do. But Crawford, you can't tell him anything. Michael, did you have a prediction for that fight? I'm going with Crawford. I'm riding with Crawford. Do I really believe that? Probably not, but I'm gonna go with Crawford still. What do you think, Michael?
I don't know, man. I mean, I want to go. I grew up watching I was never a real big fan, like not fan, like big as far as knowledgeable when it came to like boxing. But when I grew up, my dad had me watch certain boxers to implement in my MMA style, and then I grew up watching Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Canelo. So I like Canelo, like because I grew up watching him. But I don't know. I would like to see Crawford win. I think he deserves it. A fight of that magnitude to get that payday, and two, I think I don't. He might be the underdog a little bit. I don't know. I think what you said, the size might play a part in the match. But I mean, I'm going for. I don't know if he can finish Canelo. I think it's going to be a 12-round fight if he wins. But I like them both. But I would like to see Crawford win.
He's not finishing Canelo, and I think that. Do you guys think he has enough pop in his punches to even hurt Canelo or keep him off of him? We don't know yet how he's going to look at that weight, but that's my concern right now. I don't know if he has enough power to make Canelo respect it. That's what I fear.
I feel like if Bivol couldn't do it, he can't do it because Bivol is different.
Bivol's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bivol is he's one of my favorite fighters. I know he just fought Beterbiev again, right? And Bivol is, if Bivol couldn't do it, if Bivol put the paws on Canelo, you know how he was, man. But I think Canelo is sturdy. I think he has a chin. As much as I don't like Canelo, because I don't, Michael, you know my history with Canelo.
Yeah.
I don't think Canelo's a punk. He's not a punk, So it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm looking forward to it. Assuming it happens, I think they said it's going to happen, but I think Canelo's taking this fight first with, who's he fighting? Some dude named Skullcap. I'm serious, not even joking. Like Skullcap, that's the dude's name. I think that's Canelo's next fight, and then I'm not sure what Terrence is doing next. But yeah, we didn't want to take up your time. We did want to have you on. I'm glad we made this show happen. It's been low key it's been a long time in the making. But we got it right. And Michael, did you want to say anything else?
Nah, we appreciate you, man, coming on the show. We appreciate you being flexible because we know we all got different schedules and stuff like that. So we really do appreciate when fighters take time out of their day to come on the show. And I really want to make that a point.
Yes,
I appreciate y'all.
Man.
Thank y'all for having me, for real.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I think one of our biggest things is like we don't do like a one-time guest thing, like where we just do a show and then never say what's up again, right? Like we have people who come on again. Michael and I are going to start doing like boxing watch-alongs and MMA watch-alongs on YouTube. So, if you ever wanted to be a guest on that, please feel welcome. Michael, we might do something tomorrow for UFC, right? Or I don't know if you're trying to.
We can. I think it's in the middle of the day, right? They're fighting in the UK.
Wait, what's tomorrow?
Do it.
I think there's something tomorrow, but
I think it's an MMA fight. UFC. Leon
Edwards, yeah.
Leon Edwards. Who's he going against?
He's going against a guy named Sean Brady, like a wrestler type.
Okay.
It's a free fight too.
Yeah, so we're gonna start like streaming stuff, and so you're welcome to jump on. It's kind of us for a way just to watch fights together, have a good laugh and stuff. So thanks again, we appreciate it. We will be in touch. Everyone, please give Jann a follow on his socials. We're helping that clout go up. We're trying to at least, right? So Jann, we appreciate it. Michael, do you want to close us out with what episode it is? 56? 50?
Yep. Draconian Combat episode 56.
Yes, sir. All right, Jann. Peace.
Y'all. Thank you.